I got you, Kissy, I got you.
Afraid to make money, and you're never going to be able to up-level your business to the multiple six-figure or seven-figure arena. So I wrote something earlier on my personal profile, if you follow me on my personal profile. And here's the thing. Lately, I've been watching a lot of women complain about men. And usually when I saw women complaining about men, I felt like maybe they just didn't know the way to go. But then I noticed that a lot of women have been complaining about men for a long time, and they've also been following me for a long time. And they have not picked up on the fact that there's a lot of good men out here in the world. Like, we are surrounded by good men. But when you're constantly complaining about men, you sometimes, yes, like let's be honest, like you'll attract like some men who are still good men, and maybe a man is like, he's very empathetic and he says, oh, you know what, she's hurting, I want to heal her, so he'll heal you. But other men who are really good men, they don't want to deal with the women who are complaining about men. They don't want to deal with women who complain, period. That's not the type of woman that masculine men like. And here's the thing. Most of the women who are complaining about men are the masculine women. And here's the thing, there's this big rush in society right now, and everybody is trying to tell you, you don't have to be feminine, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, just be yourself. And here's the truth. Yes, you should be yourself, but yourself is a feminine woman. Like, God created you as a woman. You are feminine, right? But when you have not been taught how to be feminine, more than likely you have developed a lot of masculine traits, because you've had to learn how to take care of yourself. You've had to learn how to provide for yourself. You've had to protect yourself. And when you've been in bad relationships, or you experience men who are feminine, or men who abuse you, and men who are just simply not good to you and don't know how to be the man God called him to be, then you do develop this shell and this wall, and you're masculine. But here's the thing, like, everybody in life goes through some things, but at some point you have to get sick and tired of going through whatever you're going through, and then you have to change. And here's the thing, like, I was one of those women who a man would abuse, or a man wouldn't treat me well, and then I had to learn my lesson about my own behaviors. I had to learn about my own frequency. If nothing else, you can be sweet as pie. You can be sweet as pie. But if you're not dating men or women on your frequency, that person isn't going to appreciate you. I know absolutely brilliant people that I can see all day. This person is going to win in life. This person is going to be a millionaire. This person is going to be a billionaire. And this, to me, is clear as day. But other people can see that same person, and because they're not on the high frequency we're on, they wouldn't see that person. They wouldn't be able to see where that person is going. Therefore, they wouldn't have any appreciation for that person. And that's the thing about women. When you're complaining about men, most of you women, you're brilliant, you're smart, you're attractive, you have a good job, you're educated. You are dating men who are below your frequency. And the only way you're going to attract men who are on your high frequency or higher is for you to heal. And in order to heal, that means you have to take self-accountability, and you have to stop blaming men for everything. Like, you'll notice, like, when I go online and I'm talking about men, sometimes, yeah, I'm kind of savage, right? Because it's the internet, and I attract so many different type of people, right? And sometimes I do see the low bottom dwelling men, and they do crazy stuff to women in general, right? But at some point, even those men, some woman is going to tap them, right? And she's not going to hit him, but she's going to hit him in his heart where he's going to feel it, and he's not going to want to lose her. So he's going to get some act right? But there's other men who you don't have to wait for them to do that. There's men who are already up here on a high frequency, and they're looking for for a magnetic, beautiful, brilliant woman to build an empire with. These men want a woman to build a kingdom with. And no, even though they do understand that a lot of us have been hurt, they don't want to deal with that. Men do not want to deal with that. Men want a woman who's willing to be feminine and play her role and submit to him, listen to him, and respect his authority and his position. And when you're not willing to heal yourself and go within and take self-accountability, there's no way you're going to be able to be with a high-value man, because a high-value man expects you to own your crap. You have to own your stuff. You have to own it, and then you have to get better. But if you're still complaining about men, you're not getting better, because you're not trying to change anything. You're not trying to fix anything. And here's another thing, like a lot of high-value women, you blame everything on men, not understanding that when a man does something to you or he says something to you, it's really a reflection of you. You always have to keep going within and seeing how you're triggering this, how you are causing this, and how you are responsible for this. And here's the thing. I'm not telling anybody anything that I don't know, anything that I haven't experienced for myself, because I was the hard-headed woman. And even though I was hard-headed, though, I'll tell you this, I was so feminine that men would still put up with me because I still had a lot of femininity, but I had to get rid of my own masculine traits, like demasculating men, right? At some point, I used to think it was okay to emasculate men, and now I know, oh my God, that's not okay to emasculate men, because I understand the emotional deficit that happens within a man when you do that to him. I understand you're like tearing his heart apart, you're tearing his soul apart, and we as humans, like most of us, not all, but most of us, we don't necessarily mean to hurt each other. We don't mean to hurt other people. We're all responding to triggers and emotions and wounds from past relationships, and we all have to learn to heal and figure out how to stop utilizing those triggers. Like when someone does something, instead of taking it personal, you just have to lean back like this, and you have to be like, oh, this person is hurt, this person is triggered, and you just talk to them. And as a woman, instead of getting upset with a man or complaining about him, you just simply tell him how that behavior made you feel. And because if you complain about him, he's not going to receive it well. Nobody really receives things well when you complain about them, except us high performers. Like, we'll take someone doing a little complaint about us just because we're perfectionists and we want to be better people. But at the same time, in relationships, it's different. Nobody wants to be in a relationship with someone who is constantly complaining about them. And when you're constantly complaining about somebody, I'll tell you something else. A lot of that comes from the pressure that you put on yourself. And a lot of men, they'll look at a woman who is really hard on herself, and they'll be afraid of you because they're going to be like, oh, she's going to be hard on me too. So he's going to end up going the other way because he doesn't want to succumb to the pressure that you're going to put him under, because a man is already under a lot of pressure out in the world. He already has to deal with masculinity. He has to show up his best. And when a man comes home, he wants to come home to a sweet, feminine woman. A lot of these men, they don't even care if you're beautiful. They just, no, let's just quit lying, because there's a lot of sweet women who are not beautiful, and men don't want them anymore, right? They want the beautiful woman. But here's the thing, like the beautiful women, even men don't understand. Beautiful women, even when they've been in bad relationships, have mostly been treated like queens. So even when you meet that woman, you have to learn how to treat a woman like a queen, because if you're not treating her like a queen, you're pulling her in masculine behavior, and she's going to look at you as if you're not good enough. And a lot of men complain about that, like, oh, I didn't feel like I was good enough for her. I didn't feel like it was good enough. You're not good enough when you don't treat a woman like a queen. Of course, you're not going to be good enough. A queen cannot accept any treatment other than queen behavior. And I'll tell you that personally. Like, I have tried to deal with men sometimes, even men that I really, really like, oh my God, he's so awesome, he's so amazing, or men that I was really in love with and I wanted to stay with them, but my soul, my heart, it could not take being treated any less than a queen. Like, it has nothing to do with who I am on this earth as a person. My soul is a queen, right? So a man, regardless of how he feels, regardless of how he has treated other women, when he gets to me, he has to treat me like a queen. There is no other way around it, right? And let's just say I don't take responsibility, or let's just say I take his behavior towards me personal. Then when he treats me like anything less than a queen, I can just, huff and puff. I can start snapping and doing, all that little stuff like us girls do sometimes. I can catch an attitude, or maybe I can understand like, oh, well, hey, he doesn't know how to treat me like a queen. So instead of complaining about him, I would then have to tell him, hey, honey, this is what I need from you. This would help me feel this way. This would help me feel good about my relationship with you. This would help me feel safe. And see, that is conscious communication right there. And that's what everyone has to learn how to do, is to consciously communicate. And there's so many women, like boss chicks, like, y'all busy. And you're like, I'm too busy today. I'm too busy today. I'm working. You've been like that darn near your whole life. And most of the reason why you're too busy working and you're not thinking about men is because that's what society told you to do, is to focus on your money. But you need some male energy in your life, whether you're dating them seriously or not. You need some male energy. And you need to communicate with men so that you learn how to communicate with a man on a healthy basis. If you're not communicating with any men and you're just working on your business, number one, that means you're stuck in masculine energy. And what nobody tells women is that we need male energy around us. Like, men protect us. Like, provider men protect us. And women, listen, we need men around us. We need men more than we realize. And just as much as men need women too. Men need the soft, sweet, feminine energy. Like, when they, like, as I was saying, when a man comes home to a woman, he wants something soft. He wants something sweet. He wants something nurturing. Like, he just wants to be like, and he wants to feel like peace and relaxation and joy. And that's what a happy woman does, right? And this is the thing about that. I got to do an interview on Instagram really fast. So make sure y'all follow me on Instagram on Kissy Denise. I'm about to run over there after I finish this. So here's the thing. What was I even talking about? Oh my gosh, I forgot that quick. See, I can't be getting thrown off like that. So the man wants to come home to a feminine, sweet woman. And when a woman isn't working all day in masculine energy, what is she going to be? She's going to be like, oh, honey, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so excited to see you. Right? And that's why a lot of men provide for a woman, so that they can have that feminine energy. But here's the thing. Boss chicks, you're going to work regardless. You love working, but you have to leave your masculine energy at the office. You have to leave the masculine energy at your job. When it comes to your man, you literally are going to have to switch into a whole new personality, almost like you kind of see me doing, right? I have multiple personalities. I have a personality for business. I have a personality for men who are providing for me. I have another personality for men who aren't doing anything for me, right? Like, I will get all my masculine energy off on them just because, it's fun, right? But I have enough sense to know when there's a masculine man in front of me who's a provider, you have to respect him and you have to talk to him a certain type of way. And he wants you to be soft and sweet. And it's so much nicer being soft and sweet. Things come to you. You start manifesting things faster. You start attracting beautiful people into your life. And there's nothing wrong with being a feminine woman. And it's like, a lot of women, you're too afraid to be vulnerable with men, because most of the time when you're vulnerable with a man, like, it doesn't do anything for you. They kind of use it against you. And that's what a lot of people do, right? But that's trauma, right? You can't carry that trauma from the past with you over to the future, even though what happened in the past was true, right? If you don't let it go and start over, then you're carrying it with you, so it's going to keep being true, right? So if you don't want that to be true anymore, that you can't be vulnerable with a man, you have to keep being vulnerable until you meet a man who respects and appreciates your vulnerability and who steps up and is a masculine provider man in your life. And that's another thing about a lot of you boss chicks. Like, you're never going to really step step into that feminine energy until you meet a masculine man who provides for you. And that's what God wants you to do, right? That's why the other things aren't working out for you. So if that's what you're feeling like is for you, then, I got to heal. I got to do the work. You know what? I got to become a better person. I have to figure out what I am doing wrong in these relationships. And that's what you have to do if you want one of these brilliant, powerful, high value men. You can't be telling that man something is always wrong with him. And you're not going to attract a wonderful man online complaining about him. Who said this? He's on here. My memory is Ronnie Walker. Yeah. Go check out Ronnie Walker's Facebook page, y'all. He's a relationship coach. And a lot of these men, they're so tired of y'all complaining that I notice a lot of these males are starting to give women advice on men because it's just so bad. And this is the thing. Everybody just has to learn how to get along. Find someone you love. Decide you're going to make a commitment. You're going to grow together. You're going to get married. And then figure out your problems along the way. Like, fix it. If you have the chemistry, you get along, you have the same purpose, you're going on the same path. Like, don't try to, a lot of times men be kind of waiting for a woman to act perfect, right? And a lot of times this is not going to happen. Perfection happens during a relationship when you get to know each other and you start learning things and you start helping each other become the best person that God created you to be. That's really how all of this works. But yeah, I have to go run over to Instagram. So I hope this was helpful to y'all. If you want to work with me one-on-one to heal, everyone needs to do that, both men and women. Your life will be better for it. You'll be happier and you will finally attract the mate of your dreams, and also know how to treat that person, because you got to treat a king like a king. You have to treat a queen like a queen. People have to show people some respect. Yeah, and Goddess Unleashed has like a day left. So make sure you join Goddess Unleashed. It's on my profile and it's on my website. If you're right now, it's on my website. You go to my website. If you're on my phone, there's some slashes up the top, and the slashes, you hit the slash, you go to work with me or courses, and then I think Goddess Unleashed is on like the second page. So go to the second page of that and get in Goddess Unleashed. This is the last live session I'm doing of that. This is the last live session where I am catering this course to the women in the group so that I can help you heal and shift to the next frequency and get a high value man, because I'm about to tell y'all, quarantine about to be over with, right? And everybody's about to be back out here, and these high value men is about to get snatched up, right? Because people have learned their lesson about sitting in the house by themselves. They learned about sitting in the house with somebody they didn't like, and everybody is just starting to tune in and get their money up too. So anyways, love you guys. Bye.